Hey guys, before we get into the video, I do want to give some context. This video is going to try and showcase to you guys just how strong this trinket is. It's a trinket from the 4th boss of the new raid. It's technically a tank trinket, but the thing is, the secondary effect of this trinket is so good that even intellect users like casters and healers want it. The shielding this trinket provides is very powerful, and in the next few duels, and I am going to take 2 separate duels, combine them together in one video, I wanted to show you guys just how strong this trinket is for classes like an Unholy Death Knight or a Windwalker Monk, just so you guys can see how busted it is. I think tank trinkets are fun, but this one is way too strong for PvP, and I feel like it makes PvP to some extent a little bit less fun to play. So I would be perfectly fine if Blizzard nerfed this. So think of this as my way to try to help get this trinket nerfed in the future. Good thing is you guys don't have to take my word to know just how strong this trinket is. You can just watch an Unholy Death Knight and a Windwalker Monk take a massive pounding of damage and never even get close to dying. So be my witness, enjoy the video, and I'll see all of you guys in the next one. Here the boys go. We got ourselves. Oh, let me do a reload actually. Flash reload. I know Cinderella and the other guy are already starting it up. We got ourselves snitches. Oh wait, no. Snitches. There he is, getting rooted up already by Cinderella. Look at that chat, it's so smooth. Transitions. Cinderella playing the cool tune. We are gonna see Snitches popping off the big armory, big eye bomb coming down. That's gonna be thorns up. That's gonna be AMS for Snitches though. Trying to live through those thorns. Cinderella's gonna take a bit of damage. He's gonna be trinketed a little bit early. Big bite onto Snitches. Trying to see if he can force a massive cooldowns off of him. As Snitches actually going out so fast. Playing IBF. Doesn't look like he's playing Lich board. Trying to heal through the druid damage. The blades and the bites and the shreds are shredding through his health. IBF coming down before his stun comes in is gonna get him out onto Cinderella. Can Cinderella live this long enough? Snitches doesn't have a lot of health, is gonna get gripped on. Or he's gonna get rooted down. He's gonna get a land of grip, and Cinderella tried to chase after the Feral. Doesn't want to let him get a reset. Trying to get the slows up and running. Death Strikes are coming in. It could be anyone's game right now. Massive haymaker coming down. Knocking Snitches back. Cinderella's gonna play that defensively. Trying to pop out. Get some heals. Reset Snitches. Continue to truck the damage as much as he can. Continue to truck the value of his abilities as much as he can. No AMS available for this storm, so he's just gonna get some chains onto Cinderella. Cinderella ain't gonna be chained by no man. Gonna get back in the Primal Fury. Transfusion coming out for Snitches. Gonna beef up the pet. AMS coming down a little bit early, I guess, in case of roots coming down. Cinderella's health is not looking that good, but he's starting to go back on heals. No more wall available. No renewal. No trinket. No heals. None of that. Unless he pops out. Bash coming onto Snitches just to bail away from him, to catch a quick regrowth. So just continue to just run at him. He's not gonna have AMS for the next set of thorns. So there's something Cinderella maybe could take advantage to. It's going to be Snitches. Has Deathback still available if he needs to. Is going to have the big A-bomb available too. A-bomb coming down, so it's going to be double pet wombo combo. And it's going to be Army of the Dead coming down as well through Apocalypse. Just try to get a slow down on Cinderella. Then it's going to be Thorns up and running. Is that Thorns going to be enough to save him? No, the Army of the Dead is doing so much damage. It's going to get a massive renewal off of that, but the Necrotics are second up pretty quickly. Snitches is gonna take down Cinderella. Still holding on to Deathback. The next person coming down is gonna be Alpha Shadow. Gonna land a fear on him. VT coming out. No, actually gonna see Snitches breaking out of that. That's gonna be stun onto Snitches. VT still wants to come out. Not gonna happen. Lines that. That's gonna be Siphon coming down. Does slay the Siphon. Silence of the Snitches is gonna get the dots with a Mind Bender running. This way Alpha Shadow can take an advantage of the situation. He's gonna go for Void Eruption onto the Death Knight. I'm just going to use the pet in order to generate some resources. Snitch is actually going to sit in the back with a Mind Bender, get some Death Strikes off it, get some resources, and looking to go for some kite strats off of Elfin Shadow right now. Elfin needs to find that angle into Snitch's grip coming in. Elfin, does he have anything in execute range? Sitting down low health. Doesn't want to use Death Pact at all. Wants to save it as a last ditch effort. That's going to be AMS coming down as Wood Eruption comes in for Elfin Shadow. Elfin has a part of the defensive Trinket coming out right now. Snitches is trying to take the opportunity of this situation just to get some healing. That's going to be Deathback coming in onto Snitches. Does let him out onto Elfin Shadow. There's going to be one big defensive silence coming in. Snitches chooses to back up a little bit after he kills the Siphon. No, chooses to actually stay on the Shadow Priest for a bit. Fear to get him out of the Shackle Undead onto his Undead. Does get an interrupt onto Elfin Shadow. His pet is CC'd for a little bit. Not sure if that pet does much. A-bomb coming down right now. It's going to get a massive A with Empirical Brace to get himself a massive amount of heal. And they actually ran by the eye, picking it up. 5% extra damage he's going to take for this situation. That's going to be Snitch's transfusion coming up right now. Alpha Challenge is going to greater fade out of this. They're just trying to go around the other angle, trying to see if he can sneak up onto Alphen. Continue to spam death strikes in there, back-to-back, sunk him down to Alpha Shadow. That is going to be a disperse. Force his hand for the Shadow Priest to actually pop a defensive as he's trying to fight for his time to survive this duel. Still trying to see if he can win. Trinket coming out for Snitches is going to get an interrupt onto Alphen onto the Shadow spell. That's going to be Alphen with an availability to do something. Siphon coming down. Snitches is going to take the time and a global take it out. Sounds coming in onto Snitches right now. Mindfully to follow, but it looks like Alpha Shadow barely has any health, and Need Necrotics is stacking up on him and is just going to put him behind, back to back, trying to get a grip in order to interrupt that cast a heal. Fear coming onto Snitches. He is looking pretty healthy right now. Shackle and Dead onto his pet is going to get VT up and running onto Snitches again. Alpha Shadow is not looking that good. Doesn't really have a lot of defense to work with. That's going to be Greater Fade. Is that going to be a interrupt for Snitches? Does have an interrupt. Could go for it if you wanted to, but him and the pets and AMS looks like it's going to secure a win against Alpha Shadow. It looks like the next card up next might just be Boomstar. Has a marksman available and ready to go. No, it's not. It's gonna be Vidlon up next as a warrior. Try to see if he can maybe slam and execute into Snitches. For Snitches, how is it looking? Stun coming out into Vidlon. Does force out a Trinket out of the warrior pretty early on as the warrior's trying to commit, trying to be a little bit greedy with the damage. IBF coming down for Snitches to get himself a little bit of that defensiveness to it. That's gonna be A-bomb as well as transfusion just to get a heal and rolling. Try to take it from a defensive ability into an offensive push. Try to see if he can turn around onto Vidlon, and now Vidlon is the one being caught out in the open. Might want to have to pop his own defensive. That's going to be a grip before Vidlon can land a charge. That's going to be his enrage regen coming out. This is where they're just spamming out this necrotics as much as he can while he's got it, trying to suppress Vidlon's head. It looks like he's not looking that good. That's going to be a stunner to Snitches. That's going to be short charge for Vidlon. Does Vidlon have anything to follow off of that? That looks like it's just going to be necrotic spam right now. Fear is going to separate these two for a moment, but it looks like Vidlon doesn't really have anywhere to go. He is going to start getting those bloodthirst off of him. Should be hitting the pet just to get the CC value onto Snitches, but looks like it's not going to happen. Snitches does end up eliminating him. Next up is going to be Cryus, already up there getting dots up and running onto Snitches. That's some Zakati ass plays right now. He just surviving. 6% dampening, letting this Death Knight completely siphon health from everybody he's going up against. That's going to be Cryus, getting some dots off of the pets. That's some resources at least he can go for. Snitches is just sitting out there waiting for some cooldowns to come back. No IBF for a while. Apocalypse and Abomination coming up very soon. Is going to resummon his pet with Cryus taking some dot damage onto that pet. Beefing that pet up. Wants to go for some massive damage. That's going to be Frenzy coming down. Cryus needs to find a way to deal with it. That's going to be Thorns, and Snitch is going to bail out of it. Doesn't choose to burn AMS. Decided I'll need the AMS for a later time. Bark's going to get a force out of Cryus right now. I guess he decided, you know what, the pets are doing a fair amount of work. That is a good portion of Snitch's damage. Barkskin's a little bit early. Trinket's out of that stun as Armory then it rolls in. Haymaker to separate these two. It's going to be a grip. Snitches does land a grip onto Cryus. So Cryus is still continuing trying to get the Snitch cast in. That's going to be a juke out kick onto Snitches. But Cryus' health, even though he got the juke, doesn't look that good. It looks like necrotics is starting to stack up little by little, trying to bail out of that situation ASAP. So you're going to be able to do much from here, though. Barely any health. 30% dampening is going to make any kind of passive healing a lot harder. Snitches is going to keep Chain of Ice, and Cryus does interrupt him with the regrowth. It looks like it might be down to Boomasaur to find a way to make it as a marksman versus Snitches on a Holy Death Knight. Look at that Snitches has just about everything he needs to. And he has Abomination. He can go for Dark Transformation. He got himself Death Pact and AMS. So for Boomasaur, it's all about finding the angle. Is going to get a sniper shot. Maybe big damage off that. Does cleave out 20% health from Snitches with those sniper shots. As long as he gets those out, he's going to have consistent damage from Snitches. This is where the Death Knight is kind of thinking maybe poke out. It's going to force out the trap. It's going to force out the slow. It's going to be aim shot trying to come out for Boomasaur. He's just going to try to use the range that he's got to his advantage. Is Snitches ever going to come out? Or is he literally going to just commit himself? It looks like he just decided, you know what? I'm going to go AFK. I'm going to sit in this room. Or maybe just waiting to get out of combat and mount up to get an angle. Boomasaur is going to land a slow in the opener. That is going to be a rapid fire to follow. Try to keep Snitch's health down low. Early Trinket coming out. That's going to be a Void Elf racial for Boomasaur just to get that mobility out of the way. Does get a root onto Snitches. The Death Knight can't really do much about it. Boomasaur hasn't even popped his big cooldowns yet. So still, CDs are yet to be used for the Hunter. Popping a lot of defenses though. Going through them pretty quickly as Malik is going to hit him. Rapid fire off of that into maybe a big damage. Oh, looks like big damage is going to be coming down for Boomasaur off of this though. maybe is going to go for feign death to get the pet off him for a second. Snitches is going to be catting around, is going to go for death pact early, and I'm going to wait for the death pact debuff to fall off before he engages back with Boomasaur. Looks like he's wanted to finish out this game with a clean 1v5 back to back, using the pet to get a little bit of healing as well while he's at it, actually killing the pet. Boomasaur is going to maybe need to revive the pet or at least put it away. The pet is going to give him a little bit more mobility and to be able to move around, be able to give him a defensive. Snitches is going to find himself trapped in freezing trap, but looking at his cooldowns, he's actually doing good. Trinket available, AMS available, IBF available. Does get a grip into Boomasaur, who's going to disengage off of that with a rapid fire from that. That's going to be stunned onto Boom and can't really get out of it. No Trinket available. Scatter shot to fall onto Snitches with a root afterwards. Snitches doesn't find the good angle. It's going to get hit with a sniper shot, chunking his health out a fair amount. Aim shot to follow. Does he have the double tap rapid fire? I don't really know what kind of setup Boomasaur goes for, but trying to make marksman happen, although Snitches has that transfusion. Boomasaur doesn't have the mobility to get away. Does get a short disengage. Snitches probably still has a bit more time. Big knockback trap coming down. Separate him some more, but Boom's health is not looking that good. It's going to burn exhilaration right now. That's his early heal. Turtle shell coming off. Kind of wish he has manic bandages for this type of duel, because this whole duel he could have been going for manic bandages the whole time. Snitches getting slowed out and open again. Rapid fire to follow. Gripping out. Boomasaur is going to get the army of the dead rolling. Trinket's out of the scatter shot. AMS to follow. In case there was going to be a trinket, or in case there was going to be a freezing trap, that's going to be A-bomb and everything. Collapse onto Boomasaur, and that is going to be the set end of the duel. Jesus Christ. I guess it's the healing. That's still a lot of healing. Does he run the tank trinket by any chance? That'd be scum if he runs tank trinket, boys. It looks like it's going to be Arthas off the bat versus Killagen. Gonna land a stun a little bit early. Arthas just building up some resources. Not going ham quite yet. Just waiting out. It's going to be stun. Killagen is going to go counter pressure. That's going to be wings coming in for Arthas. Getting the execute status to the Killagen. Whirling Dragon Punch. And as soon as he sees that Shield of Vengeance, he's going to bail behind the pillar. Arthas trying to make his way over there. No, Arthas decided, you know what? I'm going to play defensive. That's where Killagen decided to poke out. Sees that the shield is still up and running. Is going to bail out of there. Wants to wait for the shield for a bit. Flashlights coming up for Arthas. Shield breaking right now. Shield of Vengeance down. Killagen is feeling a little bit more confident, committing some damage to Arthas. Trying to get some slows up and running. Fist of Fury to follow right now. Getting some damage in onto the pallet. Kick coming in. Whirling Dragon Punch to follow. That's going to be stunned onto by Arthas onto Killa. Arthas popping that eye for an eye a little bit early. Killagen probably not going to be hitting too much. No, decided, you know what? I might as well. I guess it doesn't really do that. Doesn't it also have like 30% damage reduction? Bubble coming out for Arthas a little bit early. I guess it was feeling like, you know what? I'm getting kind of low in health. I'm not really trusting myself. I want to flash a light. I'd rather do it while I'm fully like protected. Fist of Fury coming in. Killagen does get the proc for the win. Stun coming out onto Arthas right now. Whirling Dragon Punch to fall. Getting him low wall forbearance up. Arthas is going to be able to live to the next bop. Maybe he might not have enough health. Lagging a little bit. Does go down as Killagen does take him out. Next up is going to be Cinderella. Does land an opener onto Killa. Trying to get the bleeds up and running. Big bite coming out. Touch of Death coming down. Is going to get thorns off that Fist of Fury. That's going to be massive karma. Trying to make that Touch of Death do the most amount of damage. Touch of Death is going to take down on Cinderella. Karma continuing to take down Cinderella as well. Killagen Trinket's out of that bash. Sin trying to catch himself a resell with that Incarn. Not going to land a resell, but he's going to be able to get some damage in while coming out as he gets a big old bite. Killagen getting another set of images up and running. Has still damage to work for Cinderella. Just going to pop into bear form. Haymaker off that just to get a knockback onto Killa, but he was already stunned DR completely. Cinderella not looking that good on defenses, but he still at least has the health. Killagen is going to port around the box, trying to catch Cinderella, and he does. Does get to root him down for a moment. Root coming down to Killa is going to Tiger's Lust off of that. Cinderella looking to maybe get some kind of a setup. Thorns as a defensive. Killagen is just going to pop all of his defenses. That's going to be a trick out of Cinderella. Getting out of that ink cap. Maybe put himself in a bad spot. Needs to get some healing. Killagen is completely tanked up right now. There's nothing that can damage him. As Wall does come down, second bash coming in by Cinderella. Does Killagen have the big damage? Is going to be popping. Oh, as he tried to go for his racial. Maybe he wanted to go for some damage. Cinderella is going to peel away. Going to land a root on him with a couple of regrowths. And he's going to catch himself a restun, reopener. Try to get the bleeds up onto Killa. Fist of Fury to follow. Cinderella is going to pop into bear form. Take as much of that damage while in bear. Popping back to cat from. Killagen still has the offensive pressure. Whirling Dragon Punch to follow. Cinderella needs to find himself a setup. The bleeds are up on Killer, but the healing that he's doing, I mean, he just barely does anything. It's as if he doesn't have any bleeds up and running. Thorns are up. He's just hitting through Thorn right now. Decided to go for Fist of Fury. Bear from coming in for Cinderella again, trying to tank up against any damage that Killian puts up at him. That's going to be with fights. Actually forces out Safety Trinket. Karma coming down. Killian trying to make the use of that Karma. No more Thorns available onto Sin. And Sin is kind of forced to just run away as Killian is chasing and power shifting every time he gets a slow batch coming in to kill him. Cinderella is going to be able to get a few regrowths. Killian is not going to have a trigger for that batch. Cinderella does get your resell, but looks like he couldn't quite get the opener. Stun coming on to Sin with a touch of death. Cinderella is going to get locked out. And Infest of Fear with all these images. Does he have anything? Pre-wall on this damage as best as he can. Whirling Dragon Punch fall. Touch of death is going to take him down a bit. Doesn't have a massive heal for quite a while. Does get a Trinket out of Killian with a Root to Fall. Trinket lesson out of it. Rolling to Cinderella. Bear form. That's all he has right now is the defensive. Just trying to wait it out until he has something coming up. Thorns are up and running, so at least he can maybe get a slow into Killer. Killer is continuing to get a Fist of Fury in there. Cinderella has no heals, and Killer was able to take him out, just healing himself the whole time. Elfin Shadow is going to get that dot up and running onto Killer, and it's going to get poured out of that. And that's going to be a Mindbender on him. I don't even know if Elfin Shadow can do anything here. I mean, that was Arthas and Cinderella versus Killian, who literally ignored Cinderella's bleeds. That's going to be full setup by Elfin Shadow. That wasn't silenced to Killian. That could be getting him low. It's going to go popping big defense right now. That's going to be Wall as well as Dampen Harm together. Incap onto Elfin Shadow. Trinkets out of it immediately. It's going to get a Siphon. So for Killian, as long as he can break the line of sight of that Siphon, which he does, he can still land this Verifies. No dampening quite yet into this duel. Elfin Shadow working off of procs, trying to catch up to Killian. But he's trying to get the Vivifies back to back. He's going to get a stun into Elfin Shadow. No Trinket available. I think he's going to just have to take the full damage, the full brunt of it right now. He's going to go for Greater Fade. Get into dodge at least with a Whirling Dragon Punch. Does get locked out onto a heal. Elfin Shadow needs to go for another setup as Killian is just continually getting more and more shields. He's just recovering with that by doing damage. He's just passively recovering. Because some of it is just Vivifies to recover through most of the health and then healing over time, as well as the shields to protect him. They do come back from time to time. Elfin Shadow is getting locked out right now for a moment. Does have Vampiric Embrace available. Mindbender trying to come out is going to kill that Siphon. Elfin Shadow is going to go for that Disperse as Killian actually finds himself at a fairly low health. Vivifies to follow. Does Elfin Shadow have a wombo combo with stuns, fear, and silences to take down Killian? Killian is trying to get offensive. Fear coming in. Elfin Shadow is going to refresh the VT. Is going to force Killian back on him. Shadowman's trying to come out, is not going to be able to get the Shadowman's out, but does get a Greater Fade. Elfin Shadow is still doing okay on health. Shadowman's are going to come out as he's just getting pummeled by the Fist of Fury. Spinning Crane Kick to follow. Stun coming in. Killian could Trinket out of it. Reaches again reapplied with Mind Blast. Killian is still doing just fine. Out, getting back up to about half health right now. A bit of Absorb coming in. Elfin Shadow locked out. Whirling Dragon Punch. Siphon coming down. Does kill Siphon. Sounds coming in. Elfin Shadow getting locked out in Shadow, and looks like Killian is just going to be able to land that Fist of Fury, trying to finish off the Shadow Priest, and he does. Vivifies following. And Dalfir trying to get himself a setup. That's going to be stun one more combo onto Killian. Dampening only hitting 10%. Is Killian even going to whiff of this at all? He's going to get a Trinket as Maledict slams him. Going to get a port out, and Dalfuric is there to greet him. That's going to be Karma as a response for Killer. And just going to try to land it slow if he can onto Dalfuric. No, goes for Vivifies back to back. Dalfuric does get to leap around the platform and does get to interrupt his heal. But Killian's health is basically back up. He does have massive defenses. Actually unkillable during this phase. Fist of Fury locking out Dalfuric. Dropping down Darkness, does land another stun onto Killer. He can still continue going for wombo combo, but that Wall and Dampen Harm do reduce the damage heavily. So for Killer, he's still ahead a little bit. Minute left on that Karma. Does get locked out Dalfuric as Dalfuric decides, you know what, I'm going to go up in there, get a couple pot shots into Killian. He's going to bail out of that with 40% dampening behind the wall. Spam and Vivifies, try to see if he can recover. The Trinkets, the Absorbs, are going to be coming back in just a little bit, which is going to give him a little bit of that advantage. Going to land a full stun to Dalfuric with a Fist of Fury to lock him out. Does Dalfuric have a setup right now? He's going to take away Killian's shields while he's got it. Retreating for a moment, trying to get the resources running. There's going to be a stun into an I-Beam. Blade Dance to fall into Annihilate. Is he going to be able to get big Annihilates in? Does land big damage in. Safety Trinket proccing for Killian. That's completely safetied out. Fully safetied out. It's going to be interrupt. And Killian is going to pour it away. Vivifies to follow him. Now Furyk is continuing the chase, continuing the prowl, but Killa is just going to dragon kick to the other side of the pillar. Now Furyk is not out of the fight just yet. Killagen doesn't have a karma for a bit. That's going to be touch of death. Throw that Fist of Fury. Now Furyk is just trying to avoid the fizz. That could be an interrupt. Oh, that's going to be stun onto his heal. Now Furyk could maybe try to see if he can take him out right now. He's taken down with a little bit of time. Karma available for Killagen. Does roll the dragon punch. Now Furyk down, and next up is going to be Zeph. Killagen does have karma available. Wall coming back in just a few seconds. Zeph is going to go for that damage reduction from magic. That's going to be karma for Zeph. Killagen is going to head into that karma for a bit. He's going to bail out of it after that stun. But fight, trying to see if he can force the Trinket out of Zeph, and he does. He forces out Trinket out of the monk. Zeph still has a Serenity? Is that what they play? I guess they're playing Serenity. They have Touch of Death. They have everything. Fist of Fury to fall into Killa. Killa's actually might just have to karma this, maybe, unless Zeph doesn't really have that much of scary damage. He's going to pour it away, and Zeph is going to pop a wall right now. Zeph going through all their defenses a little bit early, which is going to leave Killagen a perfect opportunity to take him down. Fist of Fury lands at first. Touch of Death coming down onto Killa. Going to land that karma onto Zeph, and Zeph is out in the open. No defenses available. It looks like he's going to be going down even before that Touch of Death even connects. That's a 1v5 by a monk. That's a 1v5 by a monk. Then again, what do we expect there, boys? Yeah? But again, what do we expect there, boys?